I have been going through some things. I'm in a really amazing challenge, and I wanted to share some of the breakthroughs I've had in my own life. I know a lot of people struggle with this. So, there was a word integrity that came up, and I associated it as being authentic and honest, which I'm all about honesty, and I would say I have a strong aversion to lying or being dishonest. So, I thought I was good, but when I really did the inner work through this past week, my homework, and spent time reflecting on it, I realized that there were areas of my life that I had been lying to myself on and kind of hiding different things, putting on a version of something for other people to protect other people, their reputation, how people viewed them, their feelings, so on and so forth. And that's something I learned as a child in a very kind of toxic environment, was that my needs don't matter, and that in order to be loved, quote unquote, or get affection, breadcrumbs of love or affection, or to survive, that my role was about making others happy or feel better, or however it was that they chose to use me during that time. So from a very young age, I learned to stifle myself, to wear a mask around each different person being who they wanted me to be in that time, and that would change. So I get to this point now where some of you may call it midlife, but I'm just now learning more about myself because I never was supported in being my authentic self. There were parts of me that people couldn't handle because it challenged them. I've come to realize and understand. So much about what makes me me, my personality, the quirks. Um, Other people would put down or criticize or mock or just use in some way for harm towards me or to justify their own actions. So much of that was a negative, positive reinforcement, or a positive, negative, I however you want to call it. But it reinforced those negative things in me. So now my struggle with authenticity was so much of a challenge. So much inner work had to be done in realization to get to that point. And it was affecting every area of my life. It has been affecting every area of my life. So that was my biggest challenge, was getting fully honest with myself and the reality of some different situations, relationships, ways I've been doing things. And I can tell you that when I finally leaned into the truth, the real reality of what has been going on behind the scenes in different ways, it is so freeing. And from that, everything is starting to flow so much better. So, my challenge to you is to take this message and turn it inward, examine yourself, examine your heart. Where in your life, where throughout the decades, since you were a kid, since you were growing up in college or your career, where have you hid yourself and started to live a lie? Where have you compromised your integrity with yourself? Where have you said yes to things you shouldn't have said yes to, and no to things that you really wanted to say yes to? Where have you been playing small and hiding these beautiful pieces of yourself that really help you to shine? We are called to shine our lights, and we can't do that if we're hiding our lights to help others shine. Now, there's a time and a place for that, but the best way we help others shine is by shining ourselves and helping them rise up to shine too. We don't need to dim our lights to help others shine. So where have you been dimming your lights? What have you been hiding? And what are your next steps to help you break through and truly live a life of authenticity and integrity with yourself? How can you start respecting yourself more and being honest with your reality, no matter how painful or messy it is? What is that? What is that next step? Where is it showing up in your life? Now picture what it'll be like on the other side of that. And I'd love to know how that's going for you so I can cheer you on. So let me know in the comments.